Hello and welcome to the third video in the Operator GUI series. In the last video, we looked at how the elements of the Operator GUI are laid out. In this video, we will look at how to connect those GUI elements to be able to select and run OpenTAP based test plans using the APIs that are provided by the OpenTAP NuGet package. In the final video, we will wrap up and summarize everything we did and also look at ways to extend this GUI by adding more functionality based on your custom needs. So let's get started. Let's first add functionality to the test plan selection box. When this browse button is clicked, we need to be able to show an open file dialog window and let the user select a tap plan file. This is pretty straightforward and we will be using the Windows APIs for this. In this WPF application, we will be using the MVVM framework to bind the data to the various GUI elements. I have added links in the description to go over more detail about MVVM. When the user clicks this button, we want a method to be executed. So we add a button click event handler for the browse button. In the button click event handler, we can open the file dialog with the extension and filter set to match the .tapplan files. Next, let's look at the code behind for running the test plans and setting the verdict. Once the test plan is selected, the user is able to click the run button. Similar to the browse button, there is an event handler for this which calls the run test plan method. Let's look at the implementation of this run test plan method. This method uses the APIs that are available through the OpenTAP NuGet package. We first initialize a session with a file path. This allows all the session logs for that particular test plan run to be written to that particular file. This file is really useful when we have to debug or see what happened in detail during a test plan run. Next, we call the plugin manager.searchAsync method. This loads all the tap plugins in your directory so that they can be used by the test plan when needed. Next, we configure the result listeners and also add a result parameter. In this case, it is the serial number of the device that is being tested. We will come back to this result listeners at a later point. Finally, we call execute on the test plan and wait for it to finish. Once the test plan finishes, we read the verdict and then set it in the GUI. Note that the execute method also takes in a cancellation token which can be used to send an abort signal. We use this cancellation token to abort the test plan when the user clicks the abort button. The main code behind for most operator GUIs is very similar to the one that we see here. If you remember, we also saw during the demo that the status of the test plan execution is written while the test plan is being executed in a text area. For doing this, we need to create a result listener that is responsible for feeding the execution status to the text area. Let us take a quick look at this result listener. Here I have written a status box result listener that implements the on test plan run started, on test step run started, on test step run completed, on result published, and on test plan run completed methods. These methods periodically update the status text of the text area with relevant information that is received during those method calls. This pretty much covers all the important pieces of the operator GUI. I will provide a link in the description of an example of opening and running a test plan. So in this video, we looked at how to enable functionality for the GUI elements to be able to select and run test plans as well as aborting them. We use the OpenTAP APIs provided by the OpenTAP NuGet package. We looked at the run test plan method in more detail to understand how to set up the loading of a test plan, creating of result listeners, executing the test plan, passing in a cancellation token, and then finally reading the verdict of the test plan and updating the GUI. We also looked at how to use the status box result listener to update the text area with periodic information about the execution status. In the next video, we will summarize and tie up everything we have done so far. We will also discuss various ideas of how the operator GUI can be extended in functionality. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next video.